to really come together, invest more for water, and do our best to reach everybody with safe water and sanitation. So once again, Permanent Secretary, thank you very much for your time, and I wish you a very happy World Water Day.
Thank you very much for that very key message that you gave. At this point, I'd like to call on the head of the natural resources specialist, Chief Fabi from FAO, an organization, to share a short message. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Sheyi Fabi, but I bring apologies from Fred Barrow, who is the country representative of Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. He is unavoidably absent. He would have loved to be part of this occasion because water is critical to agriculture. So this Guru message was written by him, and I'm just presenting the message on his behalf. All protocols duly observed. On behalf of the FAO representation in Nigeria, I'd like to thank the Federal Ministry of Water Resources for inviting FAO to this press briefing event to mark the World Water Day. And I welcome other distinguished speakers and guests. The theme of this year's World Water Day is highly relevant: accelerating change. It demands that all hands must be on deck to deliver the much needed change to humanity in the water sector. The United Nations 2023 Water Conference, currently ongoing in New York now, started yesterday, plans to forge an international community commitment to water action agenda to protect one of the humanity's most critical resources. Over 700 million people in the world today face high and critical water stress, and over 90% of natural disasters are water-related. The situation is worsening. Global water availability and quality are deteriorating. Climate change is intensifying. Competition between sectors and countries are increasing. Agriculture currently accounts for 72% of freshwater withdrawals. On current trend, an additional 35% in water resources will be needed by 2050 to meet the growing demand for food, fiber, and feeds. This is highly worrying for effort to end hunger and poverty, because there can be no food and agriculture and livelihood it supports without clean and sufficient water for irrigation of crops, for livestock, and for many species that live in aquatic ecosystems. Under the FAO and United Nations Environment Program led UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, country-led projects supported by partners are refertilizing hundreds of millions of hectares of vital ecosystems. As national governments are at the center of water governance, FAO is backing country-led national water roadmaps, which create a big picture approach to integrated and sustainable water management within nations, region sectors, and actors. In Nigeria, for instance, FAO is supporting Federal Ministry of Water Resources to promote drip irrigation systems as a way of sustainable water management in selected irrigation schemes. FAO is also collaborating with Eni, National Aji Oil Company, to initiate and establish 22 water schemes powered by photovoltaic systems in IDP camps. The Hand-in-Hand initiatives is evidence-based country-led program which support your special platforms that provide vital information to monitor agricultural water productivity. Our Action Against Desertification project also provided boreholes in arid regions. Ladies and gentlemen, water is an essential element for every aspect of development, for better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life. As we commemorate this year World Water Day, we need to create synergies by joining hands and working together. Let us value every drop of water and keep our planet blue and clean. Let's make every day World Water Day. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for that short speech. At this point, we would like to present the World Water Development, the UN World Water Development Report. But just before that, I would like to also inform you that the UN Water Conference is ongoing now in New York. The last UN World Water Conference happened in 1977. And so about 46 years after, we're having the present one, which is also focusing on accelerating change, to achieve the SDG 6. And the World Water Development Report is all focused around this, accelerating change, but using cooperation and partnerships to accelerate this change. So the UN World Water Development Report is a flagship report of the United Nations. And it reports the status of water and sanitation situation in countries. Each year has different theme. And for this year, 2023 World Water Development Report, it's centered on cooperation and partnerships. How do we use cooperation and partnerships to accelerate that change, to achieve the desired results? This report also is, the report is authored, written by UNESCO in cooperation with other UN agencies like FAO, like UNICEF, like UNEP, and it is written for the United Nations Water. So we're going to present that report and then also launch it in this event. So I would like my colleague to just run a 1-minute video, and then we do a short, we flip through the slides. But we have a report, we have the hard copies and the soft copies of the report, which we can share with you so that you can see in-depth details of this report. So Eric, please can you... No, not now. Thank you very much. That short clip is just to explain to us the theme of the World Water Development Report: partnership and cooperation for water. Water has different aspects. Water touches different aspects, and it is only through partnership can we resolve this complex called water. The next slide. As I mentioned, this report has been put together by UNESCO, UN Habitat, UNEP, FAO. Is a complex, it's a cooperation also in writing of the report, and it is written for UN Water. The next slide. The World Water Report, as I told you, is a brief, status of what is happening in the countries in terms of water and sanitation. It's a flagship report, and it also gives us recommendations on how to move forward. As we may know, water use should, grow by 1% over the next 30 years. This is because it is demanded in industry, in agriculture, in domestic use, and so you expect that water use will always increase. Let's go to the next slide. We have issues of water scarcity, even though we know that water demand is going to increase, but we also have the issue of water scarcity. 10% of the global population live in countries with very high critical water stress. Even in Nigeria, you have in some places where you have water stress. The next slide. And this water stress could also be seasonal. There are some places that you have water stress on season because of seasonal variations. There's also places like in the Sahel, you have water stress constantly witnessed in these regions. I'll just flip through so that I won't take so much time. We also have the issues of water quality. Water quality, it's something that is very, very, it's tearing us at the face, especially with incidents of flooding, instead of wastewater management and industrial influences, runoff from agriculture. These are all constituting to water quality problems. And then we do not also have adequate infrastructure to monitor water quality. So it's also an issue of water. Let's go to the next slide. And then we have, we also have the climate change problem. When my colleague from UNICEF was talking, he also mentioned things on climate change, because of course climate change exacerbates water stress. It exacerbates water scarcity. And all these also culminate in affecting water quality. It brings pollution and all that. So these are some of the issues that stares us at the face. Water scarcity, water stress, climate change problem, and all that. But in solving these problems, countries are also to make deliberate effort in achieving the SDG Goal 6. And all these problems are also listed in SDG Goal 6. SDG Goal 6 is that goal that ensures that countries move towards sustainable development in terms of water and sanitation, in terms of water availability, in terms of integrated water resource management. The next slide. So how did countries fare in the targets? Each of the goals have targets, and SDG 6 also have targets. We have target 6.1, 6.2, which looks at drinking water and sanitation services. And achieving universal coverage by 2030 will require quadrupling current rates of progress, because we have seen that the progress towards achieving this is very, very slow. And so countries will have to move at a faster rate. I don't want to go into explaining all those graphical analysis, but it shows that countries are not moving towards that. We still have problems affecting drinking water and water and sanitation services. Let's go to the next slide. We also have the 6.3 that talks about wastewater and water quality. Most countries do not have effective wastewater treatment. They just release the effluent into water bodies, and then there is no effective monitoring. The reporting is low, and then water data is also scarce. And so water quality is also a problem. Only 14 countries reported the percentage of industrial wastewater flow that was treated. So we don't have adequate reporting on all these targets. Let's go to the next one. Target 6.4 talks about water use and efficiency and water scarcity. Data reveal potential decoupling of economic growth from water use since 2016. So we're not also doing very well in this aspect. Let's go to the next slide. Target 6.5 talks about water management and transboundary cooperation. There has to be, water is, has a transboundary implication. You have some shared basins and all that, and this has to be effectively managed. 58% of the world's transboundary basins areas have an operational arrangement for water cooperation, and there's still room for improvement about this cooperation. You know, in Nigeria, we also have shared basins in Nigeria. Let's see the next, okay, target 6.6 talks about water-related ecosystems. And for this, of course, you know that climate change has affected ecosystems. Some ecosystems are degrading. A case in point in Nigeria is the Lake Chad Basin that has suffered a lot of degradation. And that system support is a life support system. So it's degrading. 75% of the land surface have been significantly altered, with over 85% of natural wetlands areas lost. And all this, it has also implication for development. Then target 6.8, which talks about intersectoral cooperation and capacity building. In 2020, official development assistance for water and sanitation totaled $8.7 billion US, which is all still, you know, I mean, it's still on the low side. Let's go to the next slide. Then target 6.B talks about community participation. There has to be a lot of community participation, and which is also not visible. That is why we're talking about cooperation. Levels of both law procedures and participation are very low for drinking water, both in urban and rural settings. That's why we have problems of even open defecation, because communities are not carried along. So these are the issues, and the progress we're making in achieving this goal 6 with its target is still very low. So what do? We use partnership. And partnership has shown that these partnerships are in 3 levels. You can have the one that with people in the same, that have the same objectives. You have the next level that have different objectives. And then you even have partnerships with people that are outside the water domain. But these people that are outside the water domain also have water determining their key role. So there has to be partnership for us to move forward. Let's go to the next slide, Eric. Now, in this partnership, we have some thematic focus. Let's go to the next slide. The first thematic focus is human settlements. You know, water and sanitation and hygiene initiatives are more likely to meet their objectives if intended beneficiaries participate in a meaningful manner. So all people involved at the water settlement, the indigenous people, they all have to be involved. They all have to, you know, come together and see how, you know, to partner together and achieve a common goal. Let's see the next one. The next focus in this partnership is agriculture. Agriculture needs water, and water also is very important for agriculture. You have irrigation systems and all that, and so all these associations have to come together and, you know, work out a sustainable manner of using water in agriculture. The next focus in this partnership is balancing growing water demands for farms and cities. You know, all this has to be balanced. Like I said, I'm not going into very much details, but we will share the soft copy of the details of the detailed report with you. The next focus is on ecosystems. You know, the ecosystems, watershed protection or rehabilitation schemes are among the oldest water-related partnerships. So we have to look at ecosystem. We all know the importance of watershed management, and I mean, it's very germane in sustainable water, resource management. Let's go to the next focus. The next focus in this partnership will also be looking at industries, because industries produce effluents and their wastewater has to be treated and before it's released into the environment. The next the next focus is also on health. We have to have fully functioning wash services in healthcare facilities, very essential for delivering safe, quality healthcare. The next focus is on climate change. Climate change is very, very important. Mitigation derived from water and sanitation management are rarely included in countries. So we have to look at adaptation, we have to look at mitigation, and then commitment to reduce emissions. I'm sure you have heard about national determined contributions, which also Nigeria is participating, and they are making efforts to meet their contributions. The next focus is transboundary cooperation. All this has to be taken into consideration. Whatever is happening in one other country must not affect the other countries for shared reasons adversely. Let's go to the next focus in this partnership. So I've shown you the focus that we have to focus in this partnership. Now, so what is the framework that can make this partnership work? Don't worry, I'm coming to the end. I see that since we started in the morning, the hall has been like this, coming out, and we're just moving like water, going and coming out. So please just bear with us. We'll soon end this. So the next, the very key thing in this partnership framework is education and capacity building. You have to raise knowledgeable water scientists, and then also, even when we have water infrastructure, how trained are those people in using this water infrastructure? It is very important. So in this partnership, we have to consider education, we have to consider capacity development. We even have to consider having water things in education curriculum. And another thing is data, information, and monitoring. You agree with me that data is very weak when it comes to even water data. There's what we call the sex segregated data, where you have to be able to even use gender. How many men, how many women, how is it affecting this group of people? You're in the young, the old, and all that. So we have to have good data, good information, and then monitoring and using the data for information, using the data for decision making. The next thing on this framework is innovation. Science is very important. Science, innovation is very important. Partnership can accelerate the development and uptake of innovation technologies. And so all this has to be looked into in this partnership. And the next one is financing. Financing is very important. If we have to achieve this, if we have to implement this framework logically to really see the change that we want. The next one is governance. I want to say the permanent secretary will attest to it. I think Nigeria has the water bill has it been approved now? Okay, but it's still there. But Nigeria has also put in place a governance system for water, which is why they have the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. They have different agencies handling water, and then they also have water policies. So these are all governance aspects that has to be taken into consideration, but it has to be enforced where there is weakness. So let's go to the next slide. And then what are the takeaway messages? Now I have shown us the issues in water. I have also been able to show us what is the progress that we have made towards achieving SDG 6. And then we have seen that our progress is very low. So what do? We adopt partnership. And in that partnership, I have also shown you the framework and the key things in that framework. Now, what are the key messages? You have the key messages there. Cooperation is critical to achieve all water-related goals and targets. The next one. And of course, we have to have inclusive stakeholder participation, which promotes buy-in and ownership. Don't leave anyone behind. And this is the message of the UN. Don't leave anyone behind, the users, the ones that are distributing, the ones that are in the village, the indigenous people, the communities. Carry everybody along. And then the next message. The next message, diversity expands core benefits and improves performance. When once you're able to get, the diverse people come together and put their heads together, you're going to get better results. There's what we used to say, the more the merrier. Yeah. But when you have the more efficient. That is it. Let's go to the next one. Collective action creates additional opportunities for financing. When you want to do it alone, you may not be able to get the finances, you may not be able to get the resources. So you have to do it with other people and then build cooperation. The next one. The next message. I think this is the end of my story. So, not the end of my story, the highlights of the World Water Development Report, as it were. So, at this point, I would like to call on the rep of UNIC, in the person of Dr. Ronald Kayanja, to please hand over this to the host country, and then also we'll take a photo, and then we'll launch it. Thank you. You will not clap for me.
ladies and gentlemen, I've been requested. It's a big opportunity for me to hand over the World Water Development Report 2023. This is a global report produced by various agencies of the UN. It's a great privilege for me to hand it over to the government of Nigeria, hereby represented by the representative of the Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Water Resources. As part of the launch, we will give to all the colleagues who are on the high table to show that we have launched the report. This is UNESCO. Yeah. To show that we have launched the report in Nigeria. Because this is a global report, so it's been launched everywhere.
Okay. Okay. At this point, I don't know if you have one or two questions to ask. Okay. Okay. The permanent secretary said we should. Okay, that will be one-on-one questions. So at this point. There is a part in the, just hold on for us, please. There is a part in the program, the presentation of award to Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria. Are they here? Okay. Okay, you're presenting it to the students. Okay, please, we just do that in 2 minutes, and then you give the closing remarks, and then we leave. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. Standing on existing protocol, my name is Engineer Charity Joseph Ojobo, the chairman of the Association of Professional Women Engineers, APWEN, Abuja chapter, a division of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. After the COVID-19 pandemic met all of us, some of us now knew the importance of water, and we started getting involved in World Water Day. And so in 2021, we organized students' competition, schools by schools, and we had a winner. And the winning school was presented with a trophy by the Honorable Minister, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, FNSC. In last year, 2022, we also had a competition, and the winning school was presented with an award by the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Esther Didi Watson Jack, MNI. And this year, we decided to call the winners of 2021 and winners of 2022, since they are all winners, to do a paper presentation on the theme, Accelerating Change to Solve Water and Sanitation Crisis. And that was done yesterday in the ministry. And the winners of last year emerged the winners for this year. And that is Government Day Secondary School, Duse Alaji. And we have the three contestants that won here. They were given their personal awards yesterday, but today we are giving the school the trophy. And so it will be my honor to call our PAMSEC, ably represented by the director of M&E, Mrs. Agnes Aneke, to do this presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, Permanent Secretary, there's somebody from Fort Max. So I think after the presentation, we'll have the Fort Max person come, and then before you close. Thank you very much. So we have the children here. Okay. I don't know. They will come. No, you go like that. Okay, please come.
And we encourage you, just like we told you yesterday, that the change begins with all of us. So go out there, be the ambassador for change, for water, for a better and prosperous, hygienic nation. Congratulations.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. It's always good to see the young ones, and this the youth also is is one of our very strong thematic areas, and of course in the water in celebration of the World Water Day, we also have the youth dialogue, which is going to come up anytime soon. And so we expect to see these young ones play a very key role. So at this stage, I want to call on the Fort Max rep to say something, to say a short goodwill. Fort Max, are you here? Fort Max is also a key player in the Nigerian water sector, and they always feature during the World Water Day. Fort Max, please, are you here? The Fort Max rep? Okay, sir. Oh. Where is it? FAWM, Fighting Alienation of Women. Okay, if Fort Max is not ready, we'll just call FAWM, that is Fighting Alienation of Women and Minors, to say something. Just 1 minute, please. Introduce yourself and say.
Hi everyone, good morning and welcome again. So I'm Damilola Bukola. I'm here on behalf of FAWM, Form Foundation, Fostering Alienation of Women and Minors. And we are just here to celebrate the 2023 World Water Day alongside the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. So I would like to tell a very short story, please. When we set up the Clip Classroom, so what FORM does is that we build schools for less privileged children. We take the schools to their communities. And when we did this, one of the major challenges we had was that these children, before they could concentrate in school, they had to before they could concentrate in school, they had to source water for themselves, their families, their livestock. And this, a lot of times, is a 20 minutes, 30 minutes walk to the nearest borehole before they can do this. And then it is after they have done this that they now learn in school and in the schools that we have built for them. I'm just saying this to buttress how important and life-changing access to water can be for these children, for their homes, and all of that. So I want to challenge us again here today as change makers to continue to drive this change, to drive the change that will break down systems that would even hinder people from enjoying the opportunities that surround them. And that's how can we do this? I think we can do this if we all work together. Our strength lies in our unity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's still in the spirit of cooperation. We cannot do it alone. So, Fort Max, you just do a short goodwill, not more than 2 minutes, so that we can close. Because I see that people are the water is becoming turbulent. So we don't want the water to enter a turbulent tide. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I am Nnaji Clifford Ofo, MD, Fort Max Nigerian Limited. World Water Day celebration, goodwill message from Fort Max. Toward a world of efficiency and sustainable portable water supply, the Honorable Minister, Water Resources, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from Fort Max Nigerian Limited, a strong player in the turnkey water engineering and technology, and one of the proud sponsors of this year's World Water Day. We proudly identify with the organizers of this program, not only for the significance of the subject matter, but also for the fitting choice of this year's theme, accelerating change to solve the water and sanitation crisis, which indeed ties in with our corporate sense of urgency in bringing innovation to our inefficient traditional water supply schemes and models. We salute the World Bank and indeed the United Nations for using this day to draw global attention to this invaluable commodity and the need to harness its availability for the survival of mankind. Coming on the heels of the United Nations 2023 Water Conference in New York, USA, March 22nd to 24, 2023. This forum must provide us the opportunity to focus real attention on our own peculiar challenges on subject matter. There's a common saying in Nigeria that there is water everywhere, but none for drinking. Yet the significance of water in health, sanitation, food production, and security, economic development, etc., cannot be overemphasized. Nigerians' population has been projected to grow from its 2020 estimate of 206 million to 263 million people in 2030, and a massive 733 million by 2050, when it is expected to remain the most popular country in Africa and the 7th in the world. These flattening statistics could with lack of strategic plan to grapple with it, incident make our people so vulnerable not only to water shortage, but also hunger and poverty. With an expected increase in rural to urban migration, FODMAS Nigeria Limited has distinctive competence in water engineering and technology, specializing in turnkey water projects and scheme in the highly technological areas of water geology, borehole drilling, reticulation, smart metering and billing, technology, all powered by our very reliable solar technology. We have strong presence in irrigation technologies as means of addressing food insecurity and agricultural challenges. As a part of our desire to assist the federal government in its job creation effort, our business model can create over 20 million productive jobs across industries within 1 year. Water is no doubt a natural resource of invaluable utility, which availability has remained a topical issue in our climb due legally to the outdated technologies that are still being deployed in harnessing and harvesting this life-saving commodity. Our deep research, experience, and field application of those knowledge have made FODMAS Nigeria Limited a very reliable partner in this area of technology.
Thank you.
With
Thank you. We know that FODMAS is a very good partner. Thank you very much, sir. Sorry we have to intervene like this, but we know that you are a very strong partner, and you are very relevant in this partnership that we are talking about, because we want to accelerate change to achieve SDG 6. Thank you very much. Please, let's clap for him. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, FODMAS. We have copies, and then we will circulate it to everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. So, Nigeria. On that note, I would like to call the permanent secretary to please close the event, and then I think you are inviting us for another. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Once again, I thank you very much for your patience. I'll not say much except to say a very, very big thank you for all you have been, for all your cooperation to the water family. We're all ambassadors to change. And like we all know, that this year's theme is accelerating change to achieve the SDG 6 goal. I want to use this opportunity to specially, in a very special way, thank the UNESCO, UNICEF, the SAM Empowerment Foundation, Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Gilmore Construction Company, Food Agriculture Organization, the Fight Alienation of Women and Minors, Action Against Hunger, Ford Max, the unique, and most especially the gentlemen of the press. I thank you so much. Borden, everybody, without you, this occasion wouldn't have been successful, but you have been here, you've waited patiently, and let us go and be agents and ambassadors of change, accelerating change, because without water, no life. Water no gets enemy. And on this note, I especially invite you for the commissioning of a facility in government secondary school, Gwarimpa, which will go right away after here. Thank you. God
Thank you
bless
very much, Permanent Secretary. She has thanked us just to join our voice with hers to say thank you to the Federal Ministry of Water Resources for providing this platform. And thank you very much to our colleagues, especially the United Nations Information Center, UNIC, that has joined efforts also with UNESCO to put this event together and, of course, give it the wider visibility it deserves. So, as Permanent Secretary said, you are all invited to this commissioning of a water infrastructure. And so, thank you, and good afternoon.